Well, welcome back again to Measure's Adventures. Today, I thought, well, I'm going to make a video this time on communications for your ATVs. Our weather hasn't been the greatest, whatever. It's been pouring rain all the time. It's kind of hard to get back in the trails. There's so much mud, water, swamp, you name it. It's soaked out there. It was pouring rain this morning or whatever, but I noticed whenever the sun's finally coming out or whatever, thought, well, let it dry up, and I'll do a video today on communications on your ATVs, which to me is a must. You should have. I do, like here I have a base tower and everything running on VHF, just a two-way, I call it like a big truck ICOM radio, with the tower off my house, which I can go for miles and miles and reach radios. And I did use it when I was driving truck, hauling fuel out to the bush or whatever, and I can be 50 kilometers away or more, and I can radio back to my house. But on ATV or whatever, there's a lot of places we do go out back, and you've got no cell service. It's terrible out there, and you're in thick bush. So the two-way radio is a perfect thing to have. And plus, when you're ATVing or whatever, and you're with somebody else, it's nice to have the radios where you can kind of communicate with one another. In case somebody falls back or anything like that, well then, you got the communications, whatever, you can find out what's going on. Instead of turning around, go and drive all the way back to find out that person's just diddle-dallying. So today we're going to talk about communications for our ATVs, and that goes for any off-road vehicle. And what I use here is the Baofeng UV-5R. Now these are just outstanding little 5-watt. They're actually a ham radio. They have UHF and VHF frequencies. I use a VHF frequencies, whatever on it, whatever, but I program my radios myself, and it works great. I got my own channel, and I can communicate back to the house if something ever happened, I get stuck, I need help or anything like that. I have a radio that can reach back to my home and not worry about if my cell's gonna get out or not. So I thought, well, I'll show you a few of the accessories that I bought, and I'll show you how I kind of technically, I'll explain a little bit to you, whatever, how I built a base tower. So anyways, that's today's video, and so don't go away, and we'll go through the best communications that you can use is a Baofeng UV-5R. For starters, wherever I thought, well, we'll go outside here before it rains again, who knows? And kind of explain to you how I built my my base tower, which wasn't really, didn't cost a whole lot. I'll have to zoom up with the camera somehow, whatever, and show you the tower and stuff off the house. But previous owners of the place, they had the tripod stands, whatever, for, I think they had a cell phone booster on one tripod, and then they had a for their internet was on the other one. But they moved away, and then I put a cell phone booster on it, which doesn't work very good. Like, I'm not impressed with it at all. And I put basically, it's just a normal big truck antenna that is a mirror mount. And I built I just took a piece of tin and made a 10-inch disc for a ground plane. And it seems to work quite well. Excuse the mosquitoes out here. It's even the sunlight, there's mosquitoes out here. But I'll show you a little bit of the tower, and then we'll go inside real quick, whatever, and I'll show you the kind of radio system that I have. So now that's the antenna off the roof or whatever. As you can see, that piece of tin I cut up there. And it's just a piece of tin cut at 10 inches, whatever, just for a ground plane. And it's just got a mirror mount, big truck mount for two-way radio. And it's hooked to a sort of 1.5 inch or 2-inch piping that goes up, she's about, I'd say about, I don't know, 20, 25 feet in the air, with a normal big truck antenna, which holds the ground plane, or that tin up there. Well, it's in between the two for the mount, and it seems to work quite fine. But we'll go inside here, whatever, and I'll show you the radio setup. Another thing for the cable, I had to get it custom made or whatever at the communications store, and it's about 75 feet to reach down to my radio, which again did not cost me a whole lot of money. So now as you walk into our doorway, that I do have the two-way just right close to the doorway, but there's enough sound. I'm using a Nikon two-way radio, and there's enough sound coming off that radio, whatever, you can hear it to the whole household. So if I'm trying to radio to the house and stuff, if somebody's even in the living room watching TV, or even in the bedroom, they'll hear this radio. And I did get from the communications place. Now, I can't remember. There was a little bit more money, but I want a good adapter or whatever for. So I'm going from your main power to your 12 volt. This year I got it at the communications place, and something tells me I thought it was around $80 for that. The two-way radio, actually, I got it off Marketplace years ago, and I got it at a cheap cost, which runs up, and then I just got a mount here just for my microphone. So it's out of the way up here. Just sits like that. But that's what I'm using just for a base tower. Now for some of the accessories that I've picked up, whatever, like this actually Baofeng radio. I've had this thing, it had to have been around 10 years. My brother actually picked me up this radio, and it's been, like I said, 10 years. It's been banged around the truck. It's been banged on the quads. It's been banged on my hip. It's been tossed. It's been dropped. And this little Baofeng radio, UV-5R, it just keeps going and going and going. The only difference that I did was I changed the antenna, and this is just a little small rubber ducky little stubby antenna, which is perfectly fine for like when I'm around the yard or I'm in the shop, even on the ATVs, whatever, when I go out, whatever, I'm just in our little local trails, I want to call it. I just use little stubby antenna or whatever like this or whatever, because I don't need any more. If I'm going out further in the trails, now that's when it gets a little bit more different where, yeah, you want a little bit better of an antenna. And again, on this radio here, obviously you can see that I got the extension life battery. They're quite affordable to you. I think they're around 20 bucks on Amazon. They're not much. And same with these little stubby antennas. I think you can pick up a pack of them for about 10, 15 bucks and probably get about 4 or 5 to a pack. So I got a few of them. I'm not going to show you every one that I got or whatever, but great little antennas for what they are. Actually, I don't mind them for the distance-wise of how well they actually work for that. But there again, this is the normal standard battery for your UV-5R. Now I can go through and everything, how much power, blah, 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 whatever about the UV-5R. But there's a lot of channels out there on the UV-5R. So if you're really curious about the UV-5R and about that ham radio, lots of channels out there that you can actually check it out and go from there, like in something like how to program a UV-5R and everything. There's just so many. I've heard such good things about the UV-5R. I'm really quite impressed. This one here has even been wet. It's been frozen. It's been in high heat. And the thing just keeps going and going and going. Like, I'm just shocked. And then we did buy a couple of these other ones. These ones here in camel. And this is the standard rubber duck antenna that comes with them. Another antenna comes with them is this style. They say they're not the greatest, but I found even with my base tower, I went out a long ways back in the middle of the bush, and these actually got out quite well. I was really quite impressed. We're about, I don't know, 15 minutes from town, and I was actually at the Walmart parking lot, and I had just this little antenna standing outside my truck, and I could radio home, and be darned if ever Tammy didn't answer me, and it was clear as a bell. Like, wow, like this little antenna got that far to the base tower. But I'm up quite high level here too, whatever, compared to towns down basically in the river valley, because I am close to the Athabasca River, where a lot of places we go ATV, and it's up along there too. And then, like I said, the tower is up on higher ground, so it reaches quite well. But perfect little antennas. They're good. They come with it. So don't be disappointed on these ones here. But I do recommend, get yourself some other antennas and experiment, because there is better antennas than just what they come with. Another style of an antenna. Now, this is a Nagoya 773, I think it is. 773. It's a great little antenna. I'll actually use this camouflage Baofeng radio for an example. Actually, I just picked this up. It's a Nagoya, and the Nagoya is actually a pretty darn good antenna. But I like about this one here, like say if I had this mounted in the truck or anything, I can just bring up the antenna like so, and I can use this. If it's mounted in the truck, I don't have a whipping antenna going, you know, whipping through like this one here would be like this in the truck the whole time. So a guy doesn't really want that. And if I'm just going to listen to the Lad 1 channels, whatever, listen to truckers on the highway, which it reaches all the way to the highway, I'm quite impressed with the distance. And being inside the house, I'll just put this on, say, on a Lad channel and listen to the truckers talk, and I can respond back to them if I really like to. So it's a neat little antenna. I don't mind it at all. And like I said, I just purchased this, and this, I think I actually only paid about under $10 for this little antenna. Very cheap little antenna. Like I said, this one here, these style come with a Baofeng too, but I mean, it's just a standard regular antenna. Now this is the Nagoya 771. This is an amazing little antenna. It's the whip antenna. It's not a rubber ducky antenna. It's like it, you know, you can bend it around. Like it's great for if you're going to mount your radio on a backpack, if you're going to go walk about or, you know, go out with it. But the only downfall on it, if you're standing your radio up like so, and this thing gets whipping for some reason, it'll knock your radio down, which you don't want, like in here in this shop, whatever, it's cement floor. Well, you don't want your radio hitting the floor. But like I said, for in the shop though, I use the, what do you call it, this, the little guy. I use it for in the shop. But outstanding antenna, I must say. Like the range on this thing is just phenomenal. Like I'm really impressed with that style of an antenna, which again, you can, for 20 bucks, you can probably get this off Amazon. And like I said, it's the Nagoya 771. You got to watch though. There's some antennas out there, whatever, they're fakes. They'll say Nagoya and everything. And there's videos on that, how you can tell from a fake to a real one. I found out where this, on Nagoya, now this comes in kind of like a silver printout on here that says your Nagoya 771. And it has your QR scanning code on it like that. But this comes in whatever in like a silver color or a gray or whatever. I call it silver. But that's one good way you can tell if that is a legit Nagoya antenna. Like this one here, this is a fake Nagoya. You see how it comes in blue? I found out with the blue ones, or maybe when Nagoya used to have that a long time ago, but they come in blue. That is just a replica. This is not a true Nagoya antenna, but it still works good. Like, don't get me wrong. Anyways, on with okay, we're done with the antennas. Anyways, another thing is to get is an external life battery. Like, these are really great. Like, I can get a couple days out of one of these, and like I say, I use the radios quite a bit, and I always carry extra of these just in case, you know, battery does go dead or you forgot to charge it. I always come with the smaller one for a spare because these will last all day. So they say, oh, they don't last long. Yeah, they do. They last quite a while. But anyways, another an accessory you can get is a microphone. Now these are very cheap on Amazon. They connect into your Baofeng radio. Just on the side here, there's a little door that opens up. And this here connects, and you got to make sure when you push it in, you got to hear it click. It's a little tight. You only got to push it in nice and tight. That way then, now you got your microphone, which is a speaker and stuff, where you can talk on it, whatever. The Baofeng radio also has where you got FM frequencies. So I can listen to FM radio and listen to the news, listen to music, whatever, just through my microphone or my radio. So that's a really nice accessory to have. It's got your clip where you can clip it onto anything, and it rotates. You can turn it to wherever you like. But really nice accessory to have is that. I actually don't mind the microphone, especially on the ATVs, but I'll show you on the quads how I got that set up for these radios. But for now, I'll explain some of this other stuff to you. I'm trying to be quick because I want to make this a quick video. But another antenna you can get is these little magnet mounts. So now this is a Baofeng product. Now I've had this antenna, well, probably over 10 years. And I've had this stuck on vehicles and it's never blown off with such a little small magnet, but high wind maybe, if there was a windstorm, it just might. It never has on my vehicles whatsoever, but that's not really what I use it for. I'll show you on our vehicles, whatever, but we do have the ICOM And in Tammy's truck, she has the Motorola in her truck. But I'll kind of quickly explain that to you. So even in our vehicles, we can reach our tower here at home, or we can communicate with each other. Another thing what I did, another accessory to get. Now this here is the cord here that plugs into the radio, just like I showed you with the microphone. Now this cord here, you plug it into your computer, and you can download a program called Chirp. It's totally free, and I use Chirp. And what it'll do is you can program all your radio channels that you'd like into the Baofeng, name it the way you want or whatever. And that's how I use that, and then program my radios. And this is like, I don't know, 15, 20 bucks. They're not that much money. Again, I went down to our communication stores here in town, and I got a whole list of all the road channels for the oil patch, forest industries, some of the businesses, anything to use of these roads. That way on the ATVs or in your trucks and stuff, especially ATV, and you come up to a road, now you see big trucks flying down that road or whatever, it's kind of nice to know the road channel. And that way you can hear them trucks coming. So you know if them trucks are flying back and forth, hauling gravel, logs, you name it. It could be the oil patch, hauling equipment, maybe a rig move. You can get out of their way. You know they're coming. So you're out of their way. They don't have to worry about you being in their way. So it's really nice to have the road channels, but you just go to your local communication store or whatever, and you say, I want all the local channels. If you want from maybe a couple towns or wherever you're going to go ATV in, you just ask for a list of all the road channels, whatever, and you can just pick and choose whatever one you want. I put them all in. There's probably I think I put about 111 of these road channels in on my radios. But okay, now for all this or whatever, I think I got all the basics. Like I said, I'm not going to explain how the radio works, how I programmed it. There is a lot of YouTube channels out there that will explain how to do it. The only thing I say is to be careful with is what channel frequency you're going on. Because you could be on a radio frequency channel, like say here now, the one I'm on. And then all of a sudden I decide to go central Alberta or even southern Alberta and find out, well, I'm using the same channel, and find out that it's another town's fire department. So you got to be really careful. Sometimes you look online or whatever to find out if you're safe to use that channel. To be in a safe zone, you can actually go through the LAD channels or the Alberta wide, and it's totally free. Whatever, every radio should be programmed with it anyway. So you want to be in a safe zone, you could go to them for the Alberta wide, or you can go in your LAD channels, and that's BC too. They use the LAD channels. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think there's 4. And then you're in a kind of a safe zone. But there is some communities that won't allow you to use the LAD channels. Now, it might interfere with some of their businesses. It could be their forestry. I have no clue. But I'd be careful on that. So it's just a matter of just go on your phone, go on Google, and find out the frequencies or whatever. If that frequency that you're on, it's going to be safe around for that area. So it's totally easy. It's not hard. It's a no-brainer. So anyways, I'll take you outside real quick here again and show you real quickly how our pickups are set up or whatever for a radio, and then we'll get on to our ATVs. So now here on my pickup, what I did, whatever, for this truck or whatever is, like I know a lot, like you can use your cell phones. A lot of people, I can just use my cell phone, but there is a lot of places your cell phone, it's not going to work in your favor. Sometimes the towers go down, something happens, you still got communications back home or whatever. That's basically why I'm using it. Boy, that sun's nice and bright. I'm actually enjoying that. But anyways, on my truck, whatever I use is just a normal magnet mount antenna. Just goes on the back of the truck here, which it feeds into whatever to my truck. And that just mounts just like that. It doesn't move or nothing. The reason why I put it on this side of the truck too is when it was on top of the roof, if you went through a drive-through car wash or anything, well, with the power of the pressure washer stuff, it'll actually blow that antenna right off your truck. So I actually prefer it down here. It's out of the way. It's the perfect location on the truck. I know a lot of people say, you do get out further with it on the roof of the truck, which they are 100% correct. It'll ground plane better and stuff, but with the way I got it set up here, I don't have a problem with the antenna being here. So now inside my pickup, I mounted the radio down here low. It's out of the way down here. This here is actually a Kenwood radio. I actually picked this one up pretty cheap too off Marketplace. Can't remember what I paid for that, but I did get it affordably. Like I always watch for deals. But really good radio. I've had this radio for a long time. But see, it works perfect. And like I said, I can reach back to the base tower. I can reach over to Tammy's truck. So anyways, that's how I got the radio mounted in my Dodge pickup. Now let's go over to Tammy's truck and I'll show that radio, which is pretty much set up pretty much the same. So now here on Tammy's truck, same setup with hers, but hers has got the plastic box liner. I actually had to cut just a little piece, like maybe about an inch, that I had to cut on it just for this magnet mount antenna to sit on her truck as well as mine. But it's, again, it goes underneath, same magnet mount style antenna, just like for off a big truck. And it just goes a little bit underneath the box liner here, whatever, just so the magnet will connect nice and firm so it doesn't fall off. But there again, you can go through, dry through car washes and stuff and not worry about the pressure washer blowing this thing off or anything hitting your antenna and knocking it off. Especially when you're in Edmonton or whatever, you're in the big cities and you want to go on those underground parking and everything. Well, having the antenna off that roof, well, a lot of times it's going to hit and you're going to knock it off. So this way, it's down low, you're not going to knock it off, it's perfectly in a safe spot. And just from in the wintertime, just from the salt, just from the salt and everything, whatever, these don't get weathered as bad when it's behind the cab like this. You watch on big trucks and stuff every, I think, year or 2 years, you got to change the antenna or whatever just because of corrosion, and you're not going to get out very good with your two-way radio. But so this works really good or whatever. This way, you don't really get much for corrosion or anything on it, and it's out of the way here. It works perfect. So I'll show you inside her truck the way her radio's set up. You have to excuse the mess. We've been using this truck quite a bit for Canadian magnet fishing and going on a lot of adventures. Tammy's got, hers is Motorola setup. Her microphone, because of her truck brake, or her trailer brake here, well, it's kind of, this is in the way or whatever, but anyways, so the microphone, you have to kind of stick it in like so, but it works. So in that way she can communicate with me or the house. And there again, we're on our channel that we're using. But this one here, I don't even think it's a 50-watt radio. I think this one here could be a 25, but it gets out like a charm. But that's what we have for our vehicles for radios. So now here on our quads, for an example, right off the bat, we'd like to show you like the antenna, like the one I showed you there earlier, the magnet mount style antennas. Now on my quad was actually quite simple on this one here. It's just a magnet mount that actually sits perfectly on this piece of metal here or whatever, but I'll bring a close up on that. But it sits perfect. Where on our 450 quad, well, this antenna, whatever, it's a magnet mount, but the magnet's not near as good, so you got to be kind of careful with that for a magnet mount. And it does say when you buy them, like they're not rated for a car. But it's great for an ATV, so I had to use a little bit of Gorilla Glue, and I just put a little bit of Gorilla Glue, and it seems to be working just fine. But I'll bring you up a little closer, whatever, and I'll kind of quickly explain this too. So like I said here, I'm on our 450. It's just a small little Baofeng, whatever antenna, which is a magnet mount. But like I said, it's in the corner here, on not much metal to stick to. But that magnet's not very good. I'm not really impressed with that magnet. So I had to take some Gorilla Glue and I glued it down. But see, it seems to hold pretty darn good that with a little bit of glue. Now the quad box itself here, this here actually is a DeWalt box. I get a reflection here off my window, but this here is a DeWalt box, whatever, and I repainted it and everything, and then we put Bumblebee on it because it's yellow and black quad. Long story short, maybe I'll come up with a video on this quad here too. My daughter Haley and my lovely wife Tammy, all yellow and black, well, they were calling it Bumblebee, so I made Bumblebee decals on it. But anyways, that's not what it's all about. So anyways, in the box, whatever, I got it set up. Now I'm going to try and hold this box open a little bit. But here again, I got the UV-5R. It just sits here perfectly. It doesn't bang around, rattle or nothing, which is connected to this antenna. I also have a spare battery just in case, you know, you never know. You always take an extra battery, and I always bring an antenna. So if a person gets into a bind and you need that radio to go with you, I got an antenna for it. So it's kind of nice to have that little bit of an accessory. Here I got just a little, we got the 12-volt charger here on the side of the quad. So I got an adapter that goes to your C-port charger, which on these new batteries is perfect, because on the back here is a C-port connection to charge the battery. So I really like that feature. So I might order a few more batteries like that, because I really like that setup. But you can always be charging that battery and maybe use this other one for a backup, or you can just plug it in or whatever and leave it charged or whatever. But I don't like having this thing here plugged in on the quad all the time in case it rained or you hit water, could damage it. So I'd rather just charge it, you know, as you're going, whether with it, a nice day, you can at least charge it up, but you still got another spare battery to use. But anyways, and another thing here, I got the microphone connected to this radio. I'm just trying to show you here. But I do have the microphone connected, which I had to cut this open just a little bit just for the wiring to fit so the lid will close perfectly. And this runs up through here, like so. And we've come around to the other side here. And then here we got the microphone, just like that. And I did buy another mount. This one here, you just unscrew it. These are cheap on Amazon too. I just can't believe how affordable these are. And so it mounts on the handlebar of the ATV or quad and doesn't move. It's pretty solid, and that way I can take the microphone and I can actually set the microphone on it. I did order another one of these just for the fact, because if you don't have the microphone, your UV-5R will actually hang on that too. So it's quite handy. So if I'm taking a quad out and that doesn't have the two-way radio, I can take my two-way radio and I can just hang it onto put it there on the quad. That way it doesn't fall down, doesn't bang around or anything else. And these little microphones, I'm quite impressed, because sometimes I did forget the microphone on the quad and I was pressure washing the quad. And then after I got it all washed, like, oh no, I left the damn mic out there, but for some reason the water never hurt it. It's been washed I don't know how many times by accident. And another part of communications, whatever, I picked this up for this quad. It's just a carrying case, waterproof, for your cell phone, so you can read your GPS and everything else in it. But that's what that is if you're questioning, like, what the heck's that big thing on there? But that's what that's for. You put your cell phone in here. It's got where you can use your touch screen. It's got enough space in it. You can put your insurance registration, la-di-da-di-da, whatever into it. This one's big enough. Tammy's got a fold-up wallet, kind of a setup with her phone. And it actually, she opens it up for her phone, it will actually fit in here, plus put your insurance registration in behind it. And she can put her phone here, and then she's got her GPS, she can play music, whatever she likes to do with it. But nice and handy, it sits nice and solid, but there again, another item off Amazon for about, I don't know, $20, $30. So it wasn't really that much money. Now here again on a Honda 300, like, this is my go-to quad. I actually drive this quad more than I do that 450. I use this one more for around the yard for, you know, just yard work. I'm going to be heavy pulling if I'm going to get some firewood and everything out of the bush or anything like that. But not that, Tammy actually drives this one more than I do when we're out in the trails. I still go to my little 300. I love this little quad. I've had this thing for over 10 years, and this thing has never let me down. But anyways, on with the video. But anyways, there again, I got a magnet mount antenna. This actually will pop right off here. I have had limbs knock it down, but I mean, they just magnet mounts, put it right back up again. And again, same as the other quad. It's got your cell phone carrying case, waterproof, everything on it. Still the same. Got your microphone. Got the same mount set up as I showed you on that quad. Same mount set up. I can take the normal radio, put it on there if I had to, whatever, but works great for your microphone. And like I said, they've got wet I don't know how many times and never wrecked the microphone. So I'm really quite impressed for a measly $10 microphone. But anyways, okay, we'll go into the box here. Now here inside my junk pile. But anyways, there again, I got another Baofeng UV-5R connected to this antenna here. And same thing, there's my mic mount. I just kind of whittled a little spot here, whatever, just so the wiring can actually go in there nice and so it doesn't affect closing the box lid or anything like that. Here again, then I got a spare battery. You always carry a spare. Rule of thumb. You never know when you need one. And again, this has got the C port connection plug-in. So like all the connections for it where I can actually plug it in. And I have an extra one too for what if I want to put a camera mount on my camera mount on this quad. But there again, I got a two-way setup on this quad also. And this one here did not have the 12-volt adapter or whatever like on that 450. So the 300, I had to buy this off Amazon, which you open it up and it's got you got your USB charging or you got your cigarette lighter charger. So if I want to, then I can charge that radio up if I like I said earlier, switch the other battery, charge the other one as I go, just so I have lots of battery power. But I don't know, it's a perfect little setup, whatever, like I said, for having a two-way radio set up on your ATV. It doesn't cost a whole lot. Now, another accessory actually you could get too off Amazon, Timmy, or whatever, just down your local communications. You can buy this adapter, which will screw into your UV-5R radio. I didn't mention to you whatever about the radio itself, like to buy them like maybe 50 bucks here in Canada or whatever for that radio. So it's very affordable. But anyways, this adapter, you screw it in like so, and then your normal truck antennas like we have on our pickups will screw onto this, and you can use this radio off a truck antenna. Just, you know, if you had something like basic, whatever, you're just going from truck to truck, whatever kind of thing. But these are kind of nice and handy to have. I got a few of these actually. Not much more I could say, whatever, on these radios. I just thought I'd make a quick video, whatever, and just kind of show you guys, like, you don't need high expensive ICOM or Motorola radios or anything like that for when you're out on your ATV adventures. For myself, we have crappy cell service here. 1 minute you're talking to somebody on the phone, you get cut off. Or you send a text and it's like you sent it, whatever, it says it's sent. You get a hold of that person, well, didn't you get my text? Nope, not yet. And then all of a sudden, 5 minutes later, oh yeah, now I did. This way, with a two-way radio, whatever, that way I can call directly to the house. If I get into a problem, I can radio back home and get some help. Or like I said, if you're ATVing together, well, it's kind of nice. If somebody lingered back or they got stuck or something happened, instead of turning around and drive all the way back for nothing, you can radio back to the other quad and say, hey, you guys need help? Are you okay? And they can say, yes, I'm stuck, I need some help. Or they can call you and say, hey, I'm stuck. You know, la-di-da-da-da. But very handy, affordable stuff to buy these. Like it's to buy those ones from Walmart, whatever, that you can't interchange the antennas, nothing. You're lucky if you get a kilometer out of them. Like there's some people, oh yeah, I got this, it works so great or whatever, but I tell you, nothing's going to beat these UV-5Rs. They've been around for quite some time, and now they come in, this is the 5 watt, which is the very first UV-5R. And like I said, I've had these things for years. They've been banged, they've been beat. Even this one here even had a dog chewing on it, for crying out loud. But it still works. But, you know, just for $50 or whatever, I'm pretty sure, sometimes you can get deals on Amazon too when they have their Prime days. You can get 2 radios for under 100 bucks. And sometimes they will come with a Nagoya antenna or even a replica antenna of the 771, which is, like I said, it's still gonna be a good antenna. But you're gonna watch for your deals or whatever, and like I said, and just to buy the little accessories, mounts, you can even carry the radio on your side and hold it, you know, you can talk to somebody that's on to another radio if you're hunting, fishing, or whatever. Like, I've even used these out in a boat where I built just a normal UV-5R radio, and with this magnet mount antenna, I actually mounted on a piece of steel and put it on the roof of our RV, and I had this run down wherever to another radio to a base, and I could be out on the boat fishing or whatever, and Tammy radioed us if somebody showed up, supper's ready kind of thing, anything. I could radio back, oh, hey Tammy, I just caught a big fish, you know, or whatever, because the cell service ain't that great. And it comes in crystal clear, especially going across the lake, there's nothing in the way, so it works really great for that. Or if I'm just walking around the campground, I want to radio back to camp. Very handy little radios. Like I'm really impressed with the Baofeng UV-5R. They're the best radios going. I don't care what anybody says. And I'm pretty sure if you watch your YouTube videos or whatever on these radios, you're gonna say, wow, that's a cool little ham radio. It's a ham radio with your UHF and VHF frequencies. But use it wisely. Like, don't be going on any fire department or business on their channels, whatever, and you're going there and talking like a stupid idiot. Like, no, don't be doing that. Like, come on, have respect, people. But anyways, I guess that's it for this video. And I'm telling you, if you like this video, you got to check these ones out. I know you're going to like them. Or, you know, hit that subscribe button and you'll be notified every time I come out with a new video. So anyways, I guess that's another Measures Adventures, and if this weather smartens up, we'll get back out there and make some more videos for you guys to view. But I'm getting a little behind on it, but bear with me. I'll get some more videos out to you. See you next time. Drive safe, play safe, have fun.